we saw the People's Progressive Party making all efforts, all, to ensure that the persons they wanted to become Toshaos were elected. So they campaigned rigorously. They spent a lot of resources, financially and otherwise, to get their people into the Toshaos positions in their communities. But unfortunately for them, in many instances, the people spoke otherwise, and many of their candidates that they had put forward were not elected to Toshaos position. And that is because the indigenous people are always differentiate between what we will call general and regional elections and their Toshaos elections. They do not want to have that mixed up because of it will end up in a case where you have political parties, fighting for position in the community in terms of having a Toshaos position, and that does not augur well for the indigenous population and our future. And as such, the PPP will want to have total control of the whole process leading towards the elections and also over the lives of the indigenous people. So yesterday when I went to the NTC, I went there because of several reasons. One, I am a member of parliament. Two, I normally represent the people of the hinterland, including the indigenous people. I am indigenous. Then also the Amerindian Act distinctly says that Amerindians are welcome to attend those meetings. And so I went there and I registered at the front desk, and I was given a tag. I signed my name, and I was told where to go and sit. And I went up, and I didn't look around to see who were there with. I just walked to the place where I was told to go, and I sat. And when I looked around, I was in the company of ministers of the current government, who all who looked at me with surprise. What am I doing there? Well, I said, well, I'm here to represent my people. I was even asked if I was there to make trouble. I said, no, representation cannot be trouble. Once the questions began, someone came and told me that I was wanted outside. A friend is waiting for me outside. In fact, another MP with an urgent matter, and I should go and meet with him. I immediately suspected that they were trying to get me out of the Artichoke Conference Center. So
even by deceit.
So I text the MP, what is the problem? Text me, what's the problem? He never responded till 2 days. Yes, not today, last night he responded. He wasn't around here. So I knew something was wrong. And then afterwards, a worker came, one of the assistants came and told me that I am an imposter and I shouldn't be there. So I took out my ID card, my MP's ID card, and I showed them. I said, I don't want to see that. I am there impersonating somebody and things like that. So I said, well, I'm not moving because I am who I am.
An imposter as a member of parliament, an indigenous member of parliament at a national Toshaos conference. Wow.
Yes. And then they said, well, okay, you'll have to move. So I knew that, hey, they're going to come for me to get me out of it. The community mentioned that they had applied for extension to their land and that they were expecting it to come true. But when they got information of what has happened there, they were very worried because there were a lot of mining concessions already granted on the land that they had applied for. I was mentioning the Chinese land leader spoke, and it was a sad case of what was happening with the people who really own these resources there and not being able to utilize it just to get a livelihood, their daily meals, etc. So it was sad. Well, they tried to trick me first, and then they came with saying I'm an imposter, or I'm not who I am, and then they stopped after the Chinese landing issue was raised. They stopped the proceedings. I saw them whispering, and I know they were planning something. They stopped it, and then the police came and asked me to leave. And I told the police that if there is a problem, let's discuss it here. He said no, he wanted me outside. Well, the law is the law. We have to obey. Um, I explained to him who I am and thing. He said, well, he is not there for that. He has been instructed to get me out of the facility. And that is where I left. But the whole thing, Sherrod and indigenous people, is that I have been elected to represent my constituents. And my constituents are the people of the hinterland. And again, by law, I am an indigenous person. I am of Arawak descent. I even mentioned in Parliament, well, in there, in the Artichoke, a sentence, a greeting in the Arawak language, Halika Jakuba. You know, and you could see I'm visibly an indigenous person.